Sanctions and share. The BRICS nations have sanctioned the United States and Israel.
Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'm give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakah Kodash. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutation to Akim, pushing his word in sincerity and truth. This is your brother Yassad back at you with another lesson. Will not define to the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Here it is, BRICS nation sanctioning the United States, which is something that you're not, you ain't seeing. It's something strange, because all the time they being the bullies, they being the top strikers, but now all the time they were doing the spoiling and they were doing the sanctioning and being the bully, but now look, they are being sanctioned, which just show, hey, Babylon, you have become weak, you have become weak, and hey, it's all the Lord doing, the Lord putting up a fierce spirit in Putin, and hey, the whole BRICS alliance, which is against, the system, the US, and NATO, let's get it going.
Interesting. According to the president of South Africa, Matamela Syria Ramaphosa, who happened to be the chairman of BRICS, he said all trade deal and economic transaction between BRICS and the United States and Israel will be highly restricted. Interesting. Now, guys, watch this video and share.
The BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, have collectively announced economic sanctions on Israel and the United States, signaling a dramatic shift in global diplomatic dynamics. The decision to impose sanctions in support of Gaza, Palestine, reflects a bold stance by BRICS, an influential group of emerging economies, and carries significant implications for geopolitics, the Middle East peace process, and the principles that govern international relations.
The BRICS nations have sanctioned the United States and Israel. Interesting.
Yeah, right. Hey, look the bully being bullied. Right, and this is something, something amazing to see. Right, because we know Babylon set forth, putting fear into all these other nations, that is why the scriptures say, and thou hast become weak as us, because hey, Babylon, she's losing her sting, right? And as the scriptures say, and all the nations going and hate the whore, right? That's roughly paraphrasing. So I'm gonna get it here because hey, this era here is all setting up for the fall of Babylon the Great. Here it is Matthew 12 and verses 25 to the scripture. To the scriptures one time it's saying, how shall I knew their thoughts, and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. This is Esau against Esau, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? Yeah, and that is what taking place with Esau's kingdom, His kingdom is being divided amongst itself, And what would be the result? His kingdom would be, it would crumble. And that is why we actually living in the last, empire, the statue that Nebuchadnezzar saw, in the book of Daniel, where we are the last, the foot which was out of iron and clay, right? And this wouldn't be no big long reign, because we see this man's kingdom is soon to crumble, right? Let's see here. Because the Lord is setting the Egyptians against the Egyptians, right? Not new under the sun, because they are the modern day Egyptians, you know. Precept. Isaiah 19:2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Right? And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. Right? You know? So yeah, you know, Esau, Edom, they being modern day Egyptians. And look, they fighting amongst themselves. You know, because the Lord is actually the author of these things. Hadn't it not say in Proverbs? Proverbs. Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh Shai. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whatsoever he will. Because right now in this time here now, the Lord is exposing this man, and he's setting up these nations against him. That's why the scriptures say, who would raise up a taunting proverb against this man? Obadiah chapter, Habakkuk, the book of Habakkuk 2 verses 5. It say, yea also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keep it at home. Because you see in Babylon the Great in everyone's matter. You know, hey, look in Taiwan, you know, he coming from quite around his borders to go to defend Taiwan. Then he in Ukraine, you know, the business with Ukraine and Russia. Then he's involved in the business with the Palestine and the Israelis. This man never keep it at home. Who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. But gathereth unto him all nations, and heap it unto him all people. Because that is just this man's goal, you know. Just the formation of the NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, you know, where he has all these nations under him. That's why he is the whore that sitteth upon the beast. The beast being the NATO, you know, and the EU, you know, all these confederate countries, you know, being under the whore. Right? It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long unto him that ladeth himself with thick clay? Because Russia rise up, you know, being a powerful superpower. You know, they lifting up the proverb against this man, the taunting proverb, you know. And they're gonna be the ones to bring the destruction unto them through Yahweh Shai. You know, that is why Putin is actually excelling and advancing more and more in his, you know, nuclear capabilities. You know, Russia, and then he's actually arming all these small countries. You know, because little do we know, even they of their own confederacy with Babylon would betray him, you know, because the scripture speaks of they lay a wound under him, Obadiah 1:7, and all the men of thy confederacy. So even they of the NATO, you know, they of the EU as well, Because there's a lot of new members coming to the BRICS alliance. Germany, uh, a lot of countries, which would strengthen their bonds, you know. Let's say all thy men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Yeah, so right now these nations looking at the higher superpower. These nations looking at the odds. Because all we didn't know with America was what? There's sanctions. And America, feeding, having them in an order, in a check. And prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. Because going back into the merchants, they that trading with Babylon, has that agreement, that alliance with her, doing trades and etc. So they that eat thy bread have laid a wound, because a lot of these nations under, Babylon, due for protection and also for aid, support and aid, where, Babylon would set up things that they would be able to generate income, offer the goods Babylon, etc. Right? So they that eat thy bread, the merchants, they have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Right? That's why the Lord going to see you and destroy the wise out of Edom. Right? And the understanding out of the mount of Esau. Right? Yeah, because look, right now they looking to set up their agenda. But the Lord say, the time when all you cease to spoil, I believe is Isaiah 33:1. It's woe to thee that spoils, and thou was not spoiled. They spoiled a lot of nations, Japan with Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The war in I think it was Afghanistan. There's war in Iraq, Syria. Hey, this man has done a lot of damage. A lot of spoiling, a lot of thief in our goods, a lot of thief in our lands, a lot of distressing of people. For instance, the Native Americans, the Gadites and them, Reubenites, where they took all the lands, gave them smallpox, killed off a lot of them. It's and deal treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. Yeah, so now when you're thinking all is gonna run smooth, you're gonna come with the CBDC, Babylon gonna benefit, etc. Hey, when you cease to spoil, you're gonna be spoiled. And hey, everything is in the guidance of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, because her time is up. Her time playing her hand is up, right? So that's why these nations, coming up together against her. That's why now Isaiah 14, it's 14 and verses. Isaiah 14:9. It's a hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirred up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It had raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. Which going back to, you know, Putin, Xi Jinping, etc., Kim Jong Un, all these are the kings are the old that the Lord, that why the scripture say it stirred up the dead for thee. You know, those ancient war spirit upon these ancient kings. It back in them here now. It back into them kings now. You know, Putin, Xi Jinping, right? Because it stirred up the dead for thee and the chief ones of the earth. You know, it raised them up from the thrones, all the kings. Yeah, you know, it raised up from the thrones all the kings of the nations. Yeah, so hey, the old spirit back here again, you know, war, mass death, mass destruction, you know, not new under the sun. So hey, we seen it. Babylon being sanctioned, and these is just the stepping soon, because you know this exercising their power. You know, they being shown as a stronghold, and they exercising it. Just imagine they putting on sanction on the beast. You know, well, hey, hopefully this lesson was edifying. Just a quick one, you know. All praises to Yahweh Shemir Shai. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the millstone. Until the next one, I say shalom.